values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Partly sunny with a high of 78 this afternoon. Then tonight, partly cloudy and smoky skies with a low of 64. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lyndale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. Welcome to the Gailey Show, the only daily LGBTQ radio news and talk show in the United States. I am your host, John Parker. Jim Pounds, my executive producer, is in studio with me.
How do you do?
Did you just salute?
I did. I don't know why I did that, but I did.
Patrick, do you want to salute too?
I deny ever doing that.
There is photographic evidence. Hey, Patrick, how are you today?
Doing pretty well. I will not salute. There's no camera on me anyway, so I could be doing anything and nobody would know.
That's right.
Nobody would know.
No.
Nobody would know. That smoke alert's still going on, isn't it?
And we got a little bit of a break, but I think it might be coming back in overnight tonight.
Yikes. It's the new reality, I guess, for summer in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
I hope not.
All right, I know, right? I just immediately switched right on by that because I don't want to think about it. Oh my God. We'll have to do a show about that coming up here later in the summer. What is on today's show? So in the second half hour of the show, the new artistic director of Children's Theater Company, Rick Dildine, who we got to interview last summer, is now having his directorial debut at Children's Theater Company of Treasure Island.
Wow.
So he will be here to talk about it. And also maybe we'll talk the sneak peek of the 2025-2026 season. Stay tuned. More to come. Trump fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, and LGBTQ people have one response. America, we warned you. We have a grocery prices update. Brown University is the latest university to give up its academic freedom. Ulta Beauty, however, is not backing down from selling a new cosmetics line. We'll tell you more about that later in the show. Up first, however, greased back hair, leather jackets, ponytails, poodle skirts, fast cars, rock and roll. Grease is back at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters, and I have 2 pairs of tickets to give away. First 2 callers, 952-946-6205, 946-6205, can experience the nostalgia of high school in the 1950s, peer pressure, love, teenage life set against the campy backdrop of Rydell High. First 2 callers. The show runs through October 4th, and you will actually get to choose the show dates that you go to. You just have to book them by September 6th. So first 2 callers, you get a pair of free tickets to Grease at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters.
That's dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah.
And you get to pick the date that you're going to. So I'll give that number again, 952-946-6205. And you can claim your free tickets. You get to talk to Patrick too in the control room.
And speaking of me, if you need an endorsement, I saw it on Thursday night. Absolutely fantastic. You might even get to see friend of the station Nancy Nelson while you're there.
Really? Oh, interesting. Well, there you go. Patrick has given you a rave review.
That's right.
And Nancy Nelson.
Everybody loves Nancy Nelson.
Everyone loves Nancy.
The show at Chanhassen I always wish I'd seen was Footloose. Just to pull up another. That's one that I wish I'd gotten to. So don't be in my position with Grease. If you want to see Grease, make sure you don't sit around and ignore it, and then suddenly it's gone.
Well, I already see Patrick on the phone.
Good.
Talking to a caller. So if you want to be the second caller, next caller to get a pair of tickets, 952-946-6205. Okay, it's hard to pick the big news headline because there's so many that happen on a daily basis. But the one that everybody's still kind of talking about from Friday, and I want to start by saying, there's always this argument that marginalized communities make, that something goes like this. The attacks start with us, but it's not going to end with us, right? First they come for me, but then they're going to come for you, right? That's the argument that we make. And on Friday, Trump fired Erica McTarfer, who was the director of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We all know why at this point. He didn't like the monthly jobs report.
He didn't like how crappy his economy was.
And she was the director of the Bureau of Labor Statistics on that day, was in charge of the report. Not on that day. She has been.
Right.
Excellent work, was in charge of creating that report. He alleged that she faked the data for political reasons to make him look bad.
Right.
Specifically, he said, in my opinion, today's job numbers were rigged, all caps, in order to make the Republicans and me, all caps, look bad.
You do that on your own, Mr. President.
Well,
we don't really need anybody to help you with that.
Yes. You can give the editorial. I can give the facts.
That's right.
So in July, U.S. employers only created 73,000 jobs. The expectation was going to be 115,000. Now, these are actually the things I learned. Initial numbers.
Yeah.
The Labor Department actually revises them up or down as more data comes in to clarify what's going on. And I was like, well, why does it take so long? Apparently, since COVID-19, AP News reporting this, businesses have taken longer to respond to the government survey on hiring, and more data comes in later than it did. So they have an expected number, they give what they have, and then they also look at what the jobs actually were, how long they were. I mean, there's a classification and evaluation of the job, which can lead to revisions going down. And so we saw that on Friday. Not only was the report of 73,000 jobs, they actually revised down May and June. So cumulatively, in May and June, employers only hired or created 33,000 jobs, which was down from the original 298,000 originally reported. And that made the unemployment rate go up from 4.2%, and unemployment went up by 220,000 jobs.
Yeah, I think numbers, a lot of people hear numbers and they just gloss over. So here's the easy thing. They're reporting July numbers on August 1st. So naturally, the whole pie isn't baked the day after the month ends.
That is literally what I just said.
Yeah, well, so you would expect them to go up or down, or they might stay
literally
the same.
What I just said.
Yeah, so they're volatile at that stage. They'll probably continue to be volatile for months as they get more information in. So it would only require somebody without a high school education to go, oh, I don't like that number, so I'm going to fire you, because that number is preliminary, right? I think the market, though, often does react to it, so it has importance. It's still indicative of something, and then it becomes a clearer, harder, firmer number as the month progresses, and the next month after that.
Correct. Updated on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
AP News quoting Scott Anderson, who is the chief U.S. economist at BMO Capital Markets. Scott had this to say: a notable deterioration in U.S. labor market conditions appears to be underway. We have been forecasting this since the tariff and trade war erupted this spring and more restrictive immigration restrictions were put in place. Overall, this report highlights the risk of a harder landing for the labor market. AP also talked to Daniel Zhao, chief economist at Glassdoor. Daniel said, we're finally in the eye of the hurricane. After months of warning signs, the July jobs report confirms that the slowdown isn't just approaching, it's here.
The only person surprised by this is the business person that has no idea how the economy works. He's surprised, but nobody else is, not even people in his administration that are being honest. So it makes him look like the kind of petulant man baby that he is. That he's going to fire somebody when he doesn't like their numbers. Now, here's the important thing. The next numbers that come out, I'm going to be very suspicious of because of the now bias built into the numbers. Why would you trust the next report from the federal government?
I have something to say about that.
Okay.
How I started this segment. The queers warned you. We told you so. Trump and MAGA have been making up data discrediting experts, getting rid of LGBTQ researchers, and I feel like folks are dismissive of the, they're going to come first. They came for me and then they came for this person. Like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
This is literally all of this that he did on Friday. They have been doing to the queer community for years.
Yeah.
This is his MO. It's not going to stop with us. And when you watch the past 6 months, he's fired more than 600 employees from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, complicated name for folks who forecast the weather and hurricanes, and give a huge amount of data to local weather forecasters. I worked in 2 TV stations. Weather departments rely on this data. Now there's going to be less data there available. Last week, Trump administration attempting to overturn, again, making up the data, the 2009 EPA climate change ruling.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all nerds, policy wonks like me will have a sense of what that is. The bottom line here, that ruling is the foundation for the entire federal government's approach to fighting climate change. As CNN reported, if they overturn this, the repeal would strip away the federal government's most powerful way to control the country's planet warming pollution and fight climate change.
Right, which puts your children and your grandchildren in dire jeopardy.
Well, and nobody likes, and I told you so. Nobody. It's not helpful. Queer folks have been saying it. Progressives have been saying it. But what I hope comes out of my saying this is that what he has done to the queer community, fake data, firing researchers, bullying universities to shut down programs he doesn't like. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes here. Brown University looking at you. Lies, just outright lies. That is no longer limited to us. He's taking that MO everywhere.
Well, now it's seniors with taking away Medicaid, since 70% of seniors in convalescent hospitals are there because of Medicaid, and without Medicaid, they will not be there. So seniors are about to become the football that he's going to kick down the field, to great damage to hundreds and thousands and maybe even millions of families, millions, I'm sure, in the United States.
And they're not folks who can do the new 80-hour work requirement.
No.
The folks who can do the work requirement are basically already doing the work requirement.
Right.
So
right.
There you go. I love the little spin that they're giving it, though, of, well, we're getting rid of all the undocumented workers and the farms, even though he said he wasn't going to do that. We're going to get rid of all of them. And now we have this Medicaid rule. So all those folks, grandma, apparently, in the nursing home can go and harvest berries,
tomatoes.
And then also we just need to get the kids and repeal all the child labor laws and get them to go out there.
Yes.
And then we will have replaced all of the undocumented workers.
There's a lot of people that have, thumbed their nose at college education, that they should work in trade jobs, service jobs. Okay, well, now there they are. They can pick tomatoes. Your 6-year-old can pick tomatoes after school. That's what you've set yourself up for now.
Yeah.
All of us up for, sadly.
Check out more progressive news and talk at am950radio.com and heartlandsignal.com. We are going to take a break here. More from The Gaily Show when we come back. You can't have too much pride, and Fargo-Moorhead Pride is proving it again this year, August 8th through 11th. It's one of the region's largest pride celebrations, drawing people from across Minnesota, the Dakotas, and even Canada. Just a little over 3 hours from the Twin Cities, you'll find 4 days packed with celebration, community, and fun at Fargo-Moorhead Pride. It all kicks off Thursday, August 8th with a family fun night, trivia, and a karaoke party. Then Friday features an all-ages drag show and a high-energy dance party. Saturday brings a 5K fun run, patio palooza, and the big Pride Block party. And on Sunday, everything wraps up with an interfaith service and the Pride Parade through downtown Fargo. Pride in the Park is one of the weekend's biggest events, offering food trucks, community vendors, and live entertainment everyone can enjoy. Make the road trip and show your pride at Fargo-Moorhead Pride, August 8th through the 11th. Full schedule and details at fmpride.com.
Overwhelmed trying to make sense of Medicare? As a licensed advisor, I can help you determine your healthcare needs and evaluate your options. I'm Harvey Pearl of Pearl & Company, and I want you to have the peace of mind knowing you have the best coverage available. You deserve an advocate you can trust and coverage you can rely on. And there's no fee, ever. Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Find me at pearlsofwisdom.com. That's PERLES of wisdom.com. So we can strategize together.
Hey François, what are you packing for?
Salut Laura, j'irai en tournée avec le truck de Nicolette's Macaron.
You're going on tour with Nicolette's Macaron truck.
Oui, je suis un groupie.
Oh, you're definitely a groupie. What are your stops?
Le Loring Park Arts Festival le 26 juillet et puis le State Fair.
The Loring Park Art Festival on July 26th and then the Minnesota State Fair. Well, bon voyage, François.
Et bon appétit, Laura.
More information at nicolettesmacarons.com.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about outdoor fires. Sitting around a fire is the oldest, most basic form of human activity.
What's new is in the way fire is burned. We can show you how to burn cleaner with a lot less smoke.
The radiant heat and light from an open fire is unmatched. It kindles our spirits and connects us to the outdoors. And now it's easier to experience and enjoy.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs wood and gas burning fire pits and fireplaces. Let us help you experience an outdoor fire without all the smoke.
Come see the many ways you can enjoy a fire outdoors.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Welcome back to the Daily Show. I'm John Parker. We are coming up here on the bottom of the hour. Brown University, the latest university to give up its academic freedom. Brown University has an endowment, so we're going to start with the facts, has an endowment of $7.2 billion under terms of a new agreement with the Trump administration to get $500 million of frozen funds, which was already appropriated by Congress. Brown will now ban trans women from participating in women's sports and from accessing spaces like bathrooms and locker rooms. For events and athletics, Brown will now obey Trump's definition of male and female, which he wrote in his executive order earlier this year. The university also agreed not to perform gender reassignment surgeries or prescribe puberty blockers or hormones to any minor child for the purpose of aligning the child's appearance with an identity that differs from his or her sex. Brown will pay $50 million in grants to workforce development organizations in the state to be reimbursed by the Trump administration. And Brown will stop asking for personal statements or diversity statements in their application materials. They will also now turn over data to the government on the race and grades of students who are admitted to the university, and they will have to improve the campus climate for Jewish students. That's part of the deal. I don't know what the actual campus climate is for students right now. There we go. Brown President Christina Paxson on the deal, quote, "The university's foremost priority throughout discussions with the government was remaining true to our academic mission, our core values, and who we are as a community at Brown. We stand solidly behind commitments we repeatedly have affirmed to protect all members of our community from harassment and discrimination, and we protect the ability of our faculty and students to study and learn academic subjects of their choosing, free from censorship. Having reported the facts, I will now issue my editorial. President Paxson, shut up and take your feckless statements with you." Feckless, according to Cambridge Dictionary, weak in character and lacking determination. Brown University has surrendered to the Trump administration and has joined the ranks of universities that are now political entities. Since they are willing to be extorted by the executive branch of this country, this turns them into political extensions of his administration and his politics. If he doesn't like what Brown does, he will extort them again. That is how extortion works.
Mm-hmm.
You have a $7.2 billion endowment, and this is what you just did for $500 million.
Right.
And to the Democrats or independents that always say, trust the science, trust the science. We believe in science. Pro-choice, pro-choice. If you are opposed to healthcare for trans kids, you are denying parents their rights to sit down with real doctors using real science and making medical choices for their kids without the government involved.
Yep.
If you are anti-healthcare for trans kids, you are anti-parents' rights.
Yep.
You are anti-choice. You are harming kids. According to scientists, puberty blockers do not cause irreversible infertility. Researchers have found that no minors are receiving gender-affirming surgeries. Almost all of the medical associations, aka the reputable ones, that are not funded by MAGA or have a political agenda, they are based on science, have conclusively determined that puberty blockers are safe, effective, and essential for the healthcare of trans kids. Anyone that is against healthcare for trans kids is stealing that choice from parents who are concerned and want to work with real medical professionals. Thus concludes my editorial.
Right. Well,
but also to be turning over data.
Grades? Turning over grades? What is that?
Yeah,
What?
because if they've already been
world?
extorted, do they think that this administration is going to fairly and accurately assess that data? No, they're not.
It's the Neville Chamberlain thing. Well, we'll give them this much and nothing else will happen. I'm sure this will stop it.
And to be so disrespectful,
right,
as to issue the statement and do what UPenn did, and to have the audacity, really, and actually to have the cruelty as a university president to sit there and sit, however that they issued the statement, to say, we are going to protect all members of our community from harassment and discrimination.
No, you're not.
As you are allowing yourself to be extorted by the executive branch of the United States government.
Right.
And also, you're going to have a definition of gender that is not based in reality.
Nope.
It's based off of a political statement that the president made.
Yep.
How is that going to align with what's being taught in your actual classrooms?
That's the problem with politicizing higher education. Higher education has to be above that. The good schools will stay above that. The bad schools will fall below that. And it's like so much in our society now. You can see the good and you can see the bad, and it's easy to see it. The good companies, the bad companies. The good government people, the bad government. It's black and white. And most of life isn't like that, but this person is driving us into that kind of black and white world. And like you say, against parents' rights.
Do people not understand how extortion works?
I don't think they think. I think most independents who decide elections just go, oh, well, I'm not very comfortable with how he's talking to Botswana. That's
no, I know what
point.
they're thinking. I know what they're thinking. They're sitting down and they're going, we have 5 trans students, so we're going to throw them under the bus for our $500 million.
Right.
Even though we have a $7 billion. That is literally what they're saying. They're saying we are going to sacrifice our queer students, our trans students, and then we're going to say that we're going to protect you from harassment and discrimination.
Right.
Shut up.
Right.
Shut up. Just don't even make a statement.
Yeah.
Don't even make a statement.
Just do it and walk away. Think how much that person gets paid to be that dishonest. Wow.
That cruel.
That cruel. Yep.
It's cruelty.
Yep. I agree.
We will remember this, President Paxton. We will remember this.
Write President Paxton's name on your list.
I do want to, before we take a break, I want to give happy thank yous to Ulta Beauty. I love this company. And they are now under attack by the Family Research Council for selling products from non-binary reality star and hairstylist from Queer Eye, Jonathan Van Ness.
Wow.
Family Research Council has gone off the rails and is super angry. This is following in 2022 when they went after them because they had the audacity to show a video of trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who was discussing her ambitions. You will recall, for particularly folks here in Minnesota, that it was was it Target or was it Budweiser. Oh no, it was the beer company
Budweiser
that had with
or
Dylan.
Coors. It might have been
One of the beer
Well,
companies.
anyway.
Anyway, we want to thank Ulta Beauty. I can still go in there and get
Yes.
my products.
And he buys a lot of products.
Yes, I do. It takes a lot to keep this face going.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to take a break here. None of this is possible without our sponsors and our advertisers. So please listen to them and shop with them. Tell them that you heard about them on The Gailey Show on AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and WCPT 820.
This is Santita Jackson. Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Central, we'll bring you the best progressive talkers, thinkers, and doers on AM 950, Minnesota's progressive voice.
Hey, this is Patrick for Zero Res. Did you know that August is Pet Appreciation Month? Zero Res is safe for all pets with no harsh soaps or chemicals in their cleaning products. If you have a pet like I do, you know they like to leave little bits of themselves around the house, whether that's fur or dander or worse, and you should call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to get things back in shape in your house. Carpet, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. If you haven't tried out Zero Res or it's been months since your last deep clean, then now is the time to call. Right now you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Take 15% off pet odor treatments and 50% off an air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment today at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hey, it's Tom. There's a war being waged on clean energy. A bill in Congress could eliminate the 30% federal tax credit for solar by the end of 2025. And once it's gone, it may never come back. Fossil fuel giants and their MAGA friends in Washington want to kill green energy. But you can fight back. Going solar with All Energy Solar isn't just smart, it's a form of resistance. You choose where your money goes, not to utility companies, not to fossil fuel billionaires.
Okay, we can actually talk. Hi, Rick.
Hey there.
You are on a hot mic, so folks on YouTube can hear everything that you're saying right now.
Okay.
Not on the radio, so just, FYI there. It is great to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Yeah. So we will start at 2:33. I'll put time cues in the chat there, so it's not just suddenly surprise we're on the air. So I'll give a, like right now, 1 minute time cue, and then we'll go from there. Do you have any questions for me?
No, great.
All right. It's so good to see you again.
Likewise.
All right.
Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease, it'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Partly sunny with a high of 78 this afternoon. Then tonight, partly cloudy and smoky skies with a low of 64. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lindale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Coming to you from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk where facts matter. Welcome back to The Gailey Show, the only daily LGBTQ radio news and talk show in the United States. I'm your host, John Parker, joined in studio by my executive producer, Jim Pounds. We are already 33 minutes after the hour. Rick Dildine is a director and producer. In 2024, he was named the artistic director of the Tony Award-winning children's theater company, the largest theater in North America devoted to multi-generational audiences. Before joining CTC, Dildine was the artistic director of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. Dildine oversaw all artistic programming and set the creative vision for ASF, one of the largest Shakespeare festivals in the country. On September 9th, Children's Theater Company opens their season with Treasure Island, and this marks Rick's directorial debut with Children's Theater Company. Rick, welcome back to The Gaily Show.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here with you.
All right, let's talk Treasure Island. What is your vision for this? What can folks expect when the curtain goes up?
You know, for the first show that I was going to do here, I wanted to pick something that was upbeat, adventurous, something that I could also kind of bring myself to. I'm very drawn to music. You know, as you said, I've got a background in Shakespeare, and most of the things that I've ever created are from looking at my 10-year-old self. So I said, what could I do that would let me channel all of those things? And I very quickly centered on Treasure Island. So we've got an upbeat, adventurous, music-filled show. We have added some live. All of the performers play instruments and sing. It's a 12-person production. All 12 people create the whole experience of Treasure Island. It's gonna be a blast. A great way to start the season.
Well, let's talk some casting.
Yeah,
you have Truman Bednar and Mason Yang both taking on the role of Jim Hawkins. Tell us about them.
You know, this is a show that centers a young boy, and this young boy never leaves stage. So we have two young men that are sharing the role. Truman is a 14-year-old and Mason is 17. And it's an incredible lift to know that you are as I told him the other day, I said, you know, you're the moral center of this show. You are our barometer. You're our compass. But they're two remarkable young men. That's one of the great things about, you know, here at CTC, we've had decades of training and offering opportunities to young people. And so they're so incredibly skilled. It's really inspiring.
And you have Reed Sigmund as the infamous, one of the most famous pirates, I think.
Yes.
It's like Long John Silver and Captain Hook.
Yeah.
So we've got Reed playing Long John Silver.
This is one of his lifelong dreams to play Captain Silver. And we've had 1 week of rehearsal. He's remarkable. What a phenomenal actor he is. And he's such a great leader in the room. Folks that know him as the Grinch, I'm predicting this is going to be his next big known role, because it is meaty and it really shows off his chops as an actor.
Will folks recognize him without the green?
You know, that's his beard has gotten bigger. His hair's gotten bigger. He's really embraced his inner and now outer pirate.
And you're also featuring a dear friend of the Gaily Show, Max Botanowicz.
Oh, yeah. What a talented actor. He's playing the doctor in this show. And this is my first time working with Max. But I got to tell you, what a smart actor, performer, and collaborator.
I've always been struck by, when I see still photos of productions that you have directed, the artistry of it, the design that you have going on there. Can you tell us a little bit about I don't know if set design is the right word there, but the use of color, the design, the sets that you've got coming on here? Because I imagine you have some very specific choices that are going to be very dynamic for kids to see and adults.
I would say that this Treasure Island is going to be, I think, surprising for folks in a lovely way, that you know you're in good hands. We're not going to harm anyone's Treasure Island. But yeah, design is incredibly important to me. And I like creating something, a vessel. I always tell my designers, we're building a vessel that can hold this show. So for this production, I asked them to merge together two ideas that represent adventure to me, which is a boat and a library. And so we merged together these two ideas. And what this vessel is that's holding it is essentially the skeleton and shell of a boat, but there are books all within the ribs of this ship. Jim is a young boy that is longing for adventure. And so we wanted to give him a world that would let him go on an adventure. But yeah, I have a very close collaborator that on lighting that I collaborate with. He loves theater, but one of his big jobs is he does all the lighting for Dancing with the Stars. And I always add music to my shows too. So the lighting can tend to have a music feel to it, that there's a vibrancy to it.
Wow.
That's great.
Well, I mean, speaking of music, so you've got contemporary folk music to sea shanties.
Yeah.
And I saw there's a really fun list that you have on the website, childrenstheater.org.
Yeah. Childrenstheater.com. So I have to find the soundtrack of a show first for myself.
Wow.
I have to find like that rhythm. As a kid, I wanted to write film scores, but I took my first music theory class and realized that is not the life for me. I'll just be an actor instead. But I have to find the soundtrack to a show. And so I have a collaborator. Her name is Melanie Chen Cole. She's been a sound designer with me for many years now. And, we work to find what is the voice of this. And I zeroed in on a young man named Darren Keeley, who is an Irish singer-songwriter, really just rising star. He's about to come. He's doing an international tour right now. And Darren writes these beautiful ballads that feel like of a time long ago, but also have like a contemporary feel to them as well. And so Darren has graciously given us the approval to use his music in the show.
Wow.
And then we've coupled it with these traditional sea shanties as well, but it's all done live, everything.
I mean, when I write something, I need to have the music. I can't write anything if I like the Hours soundtrack is basically what I have to play for any like essay I write.
What a great soundtrack. It really does affect your creativity. Yeah.
It does. When I do the show, it's usually Pandora, Peter, Bjorn, and John. We're not talking about me right now. So I was trying to think that is this a specific like script that you all were using, or were you like is it like an adaptation that you all wrote at Children's Theater Company? And I was wondering like where does the script come from for this particular, because it's a huge novel.
Yeah, it is. There's quite a few adaptations out there now that it's in the public domain. So the one we zeroed in on was one by a Scotsman named Stuart Patterson. Stuart has been a theater writer, screenwriter for decades, about to have his West End debut. But I found myself, I was at a reading in London for a new musical, and I happened to sit next to Stuart, and in classic theater fashion, theater folks, what are you working on? And I said, I'm trying to find a version of Treasure Island that I feel like gives me, that honors the story and gives me enough flexibility to be creative with it. And he said, I have one. And so Stuart wrote something that really is about honoring Robert Louis Stevenson's story without putting himself in it or his own points of view or his own politics. It's really honoring that story. And it gives us the flexibility as 12 performers on stage to bring that to life. Each act will run about 45 minutes each, but it's epic. You've got to go on a lot of different locations. And that's why I wanted something, a vessel that was a bit more, that wasn't literal. I didn't want to have a literal boat on stage and try to do literal, because the more literal things you do, it actually just can complicate it to a point that it's muddy.
Yeah.
And the more imagination you put into it, the adventure is fun.
I have a question if we have time.
Yeah.
Ryan Levin's a friend of mine, and I don't know what instrument he plays.
Oh.
What instrument does he play?
He's one of the rare ones in the show that does not play an instrument.
Oh, all right.
But he's such a darn good actor
And singer, and
beautiful singer. And he's another one of these folks that auditioned, and he said, "It is my lifelong dream to be a pirate." And he did the audition. He's doing phenomenal work.
Good. That's good to hear. I'll tell his parents you approve of him.
Oh, please do.
Rick, I am curious to learn, what did you discover that you didn't know about Treasure Island as you got through the process? I feel like when I talk to folks in the theater world, they get into something and they're like, I knew this going in, but then this whole thing came up for me as I was going along. Did the same thing happen for you with Treasure Island?
The other day, someone said in a rehearsal, and it hadn't hit me yet, but they said, we seek to create lives of morality and doing good things. And often, and this is the case of Jim, we're asked to do immoral things in order to get closer to a moral world. Jim is asked to do, he has to kill a person at one point in this show. I mean, and it's an act that he is vocal against throughout the other parts of the show. But the role of morality is morphing for me. The moments we find ourselves of, I want to do good in this world. And unfortunately, we're in a world where there's a lot of bad happening that's rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
And that is part of Jim's challenge, is he's seeing all these bad acts and they continue to prosper.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to stop that, but to stop it for one moment, he actually has to do something bad in order to stop it.
Wow.
Isn't that a conversation we seem to be having right now in America?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the news today, yes. Texas, everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Texas. And one example.
I'll bet somebody's got the job of putting the study guide together. I don't envy that person.
I imagine the talkbacks are going to be really fun. Are you looking forward to those?
Very much. Yeah, very much. One of the through lines in the show is, what does it mean to be a man? And, I wanted to also, with picking a show, I like a show to have some connection to what's going on in the world. What's the why of this? And, I am concerned in America about young boys in America. They're more likely to be in juvenile detention. They're more likely to commit suicide. They're more likely to not finish high school than girls. So we have to ask, what is going on? What are going on with young boys in America? And NPR did a beautiful multi-part series about falling behind, about young boys in America. And so we've been asking as a cast, what is this phrase, to become a man? What does that mean? What is it? What are you walking through to get that? So I think the talkbacks are going to be great. And I think the show is also a call to action to adults as well. What type of role models are we going to show for young boys in America?
Can we pick that up after the break? Because this show is asking two huge questions right now. I do have to fit in a break. We're going to have more with Rick when we come back. Keep the conversation going. You can follow us on Blue Sky. We're at thegaileyshow.org on Blue Sky. You're listening to The Gailey Show on AM 950 KTNF and WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
The place for live music is the Park Tavern. Park Tavern has delicious food and great bowling, and now the Park Tavern's dog-friendly patio is open and waiting for you. And make sure you catch the live music on the patio. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights from 5:30 to 8 p.m., live music awaits you with the Park Tavern's full menu available. Reservations for groups of 8 or more are recommended. And the Park Tavern offers private and semi-private spaces for small and large groups with no room fees and no minimum spending requirements. On Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park, live music and outdoor fun are back at the Park Tavern.
I'm Rachel Schroman, owner of Schroman Law, and I believe you deserve information. Our firm offers free quarterly estate planning seminars at our office in St. Paul. At these seminars, you can learn the basics of estate planning from an attorney to help you determine which estate planning documents will meet your needs and goals in an efficient and cost-effective manner. You can learn more and register at our website, schromenlaw.com/events. That's SCHROMEN law.com/events.
Hi, I'm Corey Wisco, president of the Welshire. The Welshire excels as a memory care community in the Twin Cities, located in Bloomington, and we have a new location in Medina. But what makes Welshire so different is the people that we have working for us. Our team has been together for the past 25 years providing this type of care. We employ some of the most amazing nurses and LPNs that are in the building 24 hours a day. We also have an activity team that is over 40 people. And our scheduling begins at 9 o'clock in the morning for activities, and it goes to 7, 8 o'clock at night. And that's 7 days a week. You won't find that. That is why many of the families that come to Welshire are actually coming from another memory care facility. Not all memory care is created equally. And that's why I encourage you, if you've had issues and problems at other places, come see what makes us so special. Please visit thewelshiremn.com and book a tour.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Welcome back to the Gailey Show. I'm John Parker. We are coming up on the top of the hour. We're here with Rick Dildine, Artistic Director of Children's Theater Company here in the Twin Cities. Rick is making his directorial debut with the company with Treasure Island, which opens September 9th. Rick, before the break, you were bringing up two big questions that this show is asking. One about we want to do good things, the role of morality, and sometimes we kind of have to do something immoral to get to a moral outcome. And then you're also talking about how this show is tackling the idea of what does it mean to be a man and how are we raising young boys. Can you, on that second question, kind of pick it up there of how we are addressing that? Because that is a thing right now, and we're seeing a lot of kids. There's the, I don't know if you've seen it, the limited series Adolescence, about a 12-year-old, or I don't know how old he's when he commits the oh, I don't want to give away spoilers.
The act.
Shoot, I might have just then. Did he? Didn't he? But there is this whole Andrew Tate thing happening with young kids right now. So can you talk about what this show, how it's answering that question?
The Adolescence series comes up a lot in our conversations here. I think the thing that theater can do is it can put something in front of you and we all see it at the same time, and allows us to say that resonates with me, or we can find our way into it. And for young people, it gives them characters in order to talk about, to point at. I hope that what we're trying to accomplish is that what we're trying to accomplish creatively is that young people have a lot of characters they're looking at. Mm-hmm. And what is our responsibility as adults? What are we mentoring to the group of people that are someday going to be our teachers, our leaders, our doctors? What is it we're modeling to them. You know, it's one of my hopes that this show also, we're looking to bring together a group of experts around the state of boyhood in America, and to have an open session where we can begin to dialogue about the role of mentorship and the importance of that, particularly you know, here in the Twin Cities where we are.
And that's so varied. You know, I think about when I was growing up, boyhood meant straight boys and you play football. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm sure that's an experience we all had on this call. So I think it's how great to be able to be having that conversation in 2025 where you can really dive into boyhood in all of its various forms, because it's so intersectional for all of us.
I've always loved how children's theater, for me anyway, is something like you said, Rick, that an adult can go to and get a tremendous amount from. Whether it's nostalgic or whether you think about something contemporary because of
that's very true.
Even a classic story. So I give you a lot of credit for this choice. It's just extraordinary.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try to find that sweet spot between like wanting to delight both my 8-year-old and my 80-year-old self. And I'm like midway. Actually, I'm farther than midway. But that's the intersection that I'm constantly trying to find, the intersection of those of delighting both those selves.
Wow. That's great.
May I ask you a Shakespeare question?
Oh gosh, sure.
Oh boy.
Oh wow! No.
Phone a friend.
No. So longer time listeners will know that I studied Shakespeare. I went to the UK. I was in Oxford with the British American Drama Academy. And I didn't do anything professionally with it. You have, sir. And so I'm curious. I always find solace in many of Shakespeare's plays. Is there one that you would recommend that would be useful for us in 2025 to reconnect with? Please don't say Macbeth.
I was about to say that.
Because it is.
About to say that.
I was going to hope like King Lear.
I was about to say the Scottish play. I've approached Shakespeare my whole life, not as an academic at all, but as an actor. I started out as an actor and became a director, and kudos to the folks that are able to work at that level. I was always like on the ground, knowing I had to bring it to life, and I had to bring it to life in a way that people could understand it. Young people who feel like Shakespeare is, I got to go get my vegetables, my medicine. Like I had to bring it to life like that. And when you asked that question, the Scottish play instantly came to mind, because I feel like right now a lot of folks are being asked to do things that they probably wouldn't do if they weren't in their sane mind. But it can snowball this sense of greed, what is mine, what's due to me. We are in that moment, I feel like. Scottish play, unfortunately.
I can't disagree.
Can't argue that.
It's
no.
What is that line? Out, damn spot, out. There's a lot of people that have some blood on their hands right now.
Yeah.
Have you directed it?
I have directed it. Yeah.
I imagine, yes, you have it.
One of my favorite shows I've ever been a part of. For me, the fascinating part of that one, we're going so off topic, I feel like, but
no, I'm sorry. I asked a huge question, and I'm going to actually, because I've run out of time.
Run out of time.
What I do. I ask questions, and then the control room, they're like, wrap it up, John. So Rick, we're going to have you back on the show because I love talking with you. And I know you're also directing Wizard of Oz this spring.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared to death.
Oh, don't be. I can't wait. But this show is Treasure Island. It opens September 9th. You can get your tickets at childrenstheater.org. Thank you, Rick, for joining us today.
Thank y'all for having me. Have a great day.
And thank you everyone for listening and or watching on YouTube. Up next on WCPT 820 is Choose Views with Richard Chu. On AM 950 Radio, it's the Matt McNeil Show, and stay tuned after that for Native Roots Radio. And then at 10 p.m. Central, Step into the Unknown with Greg Bakken on Ghost Box Radio. And until tomorrow, keep it queer, America.
Keep it queer.